Home builder confidence is and has been extremely weak for nearly 2 years now, and with mortgage rates rising again, it's hard to see how that improves anytime soon. All right, today I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention, but it is incredibly important for the housing market, and that's builder confidence. It's one of my favorite metrics to look at, specifically the NAHB. It stands for the National Association of Home Builders, and their housing market index, often referred to as the NAHB Wells Fargo Housing Market Index. And why I like it so much is because it's very forward-looking. It tells you what home builders are thinking, what they're feeling confidence-wise, not necessarily just today, but even well into the future, in fact, as far as 6 months out. So if you want to understand where housing supply is going next, and you want to understand where maybe the market is going next, this is one of the best indicators to look at, in my opinion. Now, the numbers do come out right around the middle of the month, and we are in the beginning of April. So the last data that came out was around March 16th. The NAHB Wells Fargo Housing Market Index, so it's a monthly survey of home builders across the United States. It measures 3 key metrics. It looks at current sales, future expectations over the next 6 months, and buyer traffic. And home builders assess all of these things. What are my current sales? What does it look like? What do I think I'm going to see in the next 6 months? And what type of buyer traffic do I have currently coming? Are there a lot of buyers interested? And what they do is they score it on a scale of from 0 to 100. And anything above 50 means that home builders are optimistic. 50 is just average. I'm not down, I'm not up. I'm not optimistic, I'm not pessimistic. Anything below 50 means they're pessimistic. So the latest data, the most recent reading that came in the middle of March, was 38. So, that's really low. That's well below even average, and we're still well below that neutral level. Now, why does this matter? As I mentioned, it's forward-looking. So here's why I think it's important. Home builders make decisions today based on what they think or expect the market to look like in the future. It takes 6 to 12 months to complete a project. So you don't start a project without thinking, well, is it worth it? Is it a good idea to build these homes or to build this, building or whatever project they're working on? So if confidence is low, what happens? Fewer homes get built, fewer projects get started. And so it keeps housing supply tight, at least from a, new construction perspective, right? So to me, it tells you what housing supply could look like months from now, not just today, at least from a new construction perspective. It doesn't account for new existing listings of existing homes, right? Now, it's been bad for quite a while. In fact, builder confidence has been below that 50 number for 2 years. Almost 2 years. Over 20 consecutive months, in fact, we've seen a reading below 50 for the national number. Now, this is a national number, okay, not local, not regional. There are regional numbers for the South, the Midwest, the West, and so forth, the Northeast, but I'm not covering that. I'm just covering national numbers, but in the next episode, I will talk more about the regional breakdowns. But what it tells me is this is a very prolonged period of weakness. It's another reason why we have a housing shortage, right? I mean, there's different estimates out there, but in general, the United States is still short roughly 4 million homes. So even with the slowing demand, you're still dealing with also a structural supply problem that's not solved. So kind of have, new construction, that's not good. Demand, that's slowing. And if builders aren't confident, they're not building, right? So the shortage doesn't get fixed. It actually just gets extended. So you're a builder. What are you doing? You're a home builder. What are you doing? Well, you react, right? So already you're seeing it. 37% of home builders are already cutting prices as of right now. You got others offering incentives just to keep deals moving. And I think that tells you just how much pressure they are from higher mortgage rates. And to me, it starts to get a little more interesting. One of the reasons I wanted to cover this now, mortgage rates have jumped, as I've been talking about, from 6% to about 6.5% in just the last month. That kind of move, that's going to hit affordability quickly, and it's going to make it even worse. And builders feel that sort of thing pretty much immediately, because when buyers start to pull back, builders lose even more confidence, right? So, normally, like I said, I'd like to wait until the report comes out, but do you really think that builder confidence is going to go up between now and the middle of April? Probably not with rates rising as fast as they have over the last few weeks. So I'm thinking that April number could get much worse. So let's think about this going forward. All right, you got builder confidence low. Fewer homes getting built, supply constrained, shortage persists, which means that 4 million home shortage I talked about earlier is not going away anytime soon. So what does it mean if you're actually in the market? If you're a builder or a developer right now, I would understand if you're being cautious. Okay. Again, we'll talk more about regions. I'll even break down different, locations and cities where it is a good idea to develop and be a builder. But, if you're just looking at it holistically, depending upon where you are, you at least have to start understanding, well, where the heck am I building and developing? Because I'm watching rates real close. I'm managing inventory really closely. If I have to, I'm relying on incentives, just to sell what I have versus expanding out and building new projects, depending upon, again, where I am and where I see demand. But look, demand can shift quickly. When rates move like this, you definitely want to be careful. As a buyer of new construction, hey, maybe there's opportunity, right? Because home builders do react. And when they become a little bit under that pressure, they start to, you start to see price cuts. You start to see rate buy downs, even other incentives that they'll sometimes throw out there for buyers. And those opportunities show up usually before the broader market adjusts. So again, home builders have to be forward thinking. So they're going to react quicker than the rest of the market. It's why I like to look closely at what they think. But if you kind of big picture this a little bit, if rates keep going up, affordability gets worse, look, prices will have to come down and adjust. So there's a balance here between sort of like timing the opportunity, understanding the risk. But in either event, builder confidence tells us where supply is going. And right now it's telling us we're definitely not out of the woods yet.